Hi, I'm Casey Wood with OurVentura.com, and I'm here today to interview Carole Lee Dean. Carole's written a book called The Art of Funding Your Film, and I can't wait to hear about how to actually fund my film because, like everybody else, I'm using my Macintosh and my iPhone and making little films. How do I fund that film?
Well, there's a lot to it, Casey. I work with filmmakers, particularly documentary filmmakers, who sometimes take 3 to 5 years to make a film.
Oh, wow.
So tenacity is number one. And I think that the best part about film funding starts in your head. It's knowing that you can raise the money to make the film you want, learning how to get an idea of what your budget would be, and not letting fear take over, knowing that the money is out there. Learning your subject matter, research, identify what the theme of your film really is, get as close to it as you can, create a good pitch and a piece of paper that shows what the outline of the film is, and then of course it's the trailer. That's what really sells the film. Just like you see a trailer in a movie house, well, we make trailers for documentaries, and that raises money.
Oh, fantastic. So are you, when you do your funding for films, do you help the filmmakers fund the films, or are you just teaching them about funding films?
Well, both. I work with them, some filmmakers, on a monthly basis and help them create this platform I'm talking about, with the pitch, the proposal, the paperwork. And I also find that the newest thing is crowdfunding. And that's taking off. Everybody wants to get on this bandwagon, so what they're doing is they're mounting their films on one of the sites, and then they are sending out thousands of emails to families, friends, and people that they know, asking them to forward those emails around the world. So this is a way people are raising money from other people they never met.
So these are websites that they're coordinating with to do crowdfunding?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. There are crowdfunders out there that you can find, and then you mount your film on there. But you have to work through, or it's better if you work through, a fiscal sponsor.
And do you provide that?
Yes,
service?
From the Heart Productions is a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. It's a fiscal sponsor, and that means that we are between you and the money. In other words, major grantors and other people that give money to make films like to get a tax write-off. The donors want a tax write-off, the grantors want to know that someone is watching the store, so that documentary filmmakers, independent and short filmmakers, can produce their films, and that someone is seeing to it that they get through to completion. So the money is given to the nonprofit, who take a small percentage and then give the money back to the filmmaker. Mm-hmm. So that's, and when you work through a nonprofit and the crowdfunding, it just expands your ability to raise money.
Now, I know that you also give grants through your nonprofit. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Well,
I ran a business for 33 years in Hollywood. And I bought and sold raw stock. Actually, I started the short end business. I was out selling film to Cassavetes and Roger Corman and having a lot of fun in the 70s, where we usually drank our lunches in Hollywood. It was a wild time. I loved it. But we all graduated into hard work and making movies. So my father used to give film away, unbeknownst to me. And I caught him finally because in taking inventory, we didn't have computers, and I said, now I know that there's a box of film in here, 16 millimeter with 10,000 feet. I'm exactly off that amount. And he said, well, it's not lost, it's on location. And he had to fess up and tell me he gave it away. He actually helped fund the first African-American film called Penitentiary because he gave the guy the raw stock. So when my father died, I started a film grant in his honor. And that was 1992, so we've been giving 2 to 3 film grants a year for a long time.
Are those filmmakers all in the Los Angeles area?
They're all over. Mostly, a lot of people apply in Ventura. We have some great filmmakers up here. On our current grant, we have a woman from Ojai doing a film about organic farming and rehabilitation through farming. So yes, they're all over.
Oh, wonderful. And I've heard that you are working with the Winding Stream now, that's about the Johnny Cash and the Carter family history. That sounds wonderful.
It does. And Casey, you might see that on ITVS, I hope, one of these days, in American Masters, because this woman, Beth Harrington, has spent 5 years documenting the Carters who went out in the country and the Ozarks and recorded all that great music, and they built the country music platform for all of us, and they were just losing favor, and here comes Johnny Cash, and he needed a woman singer, so he got June Carter, fell in love, got married, and there you go.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, so much fun.
Oh, fantastic. Well, what kind of grants do you give? Is there money or?
Yes. From the Heart gives $1,000, but mostly what we give you is a major discount on your trailer, lights. We help you build a website. We have we have people to work with you once a month to keep you from going into the blues, because you're really an entrepreneur when you're a filmmaker. You have to know everything. So we have put together a really solid group of people to help you with pre-production, research, distribution, etc. So we must have 60 donors.
Fantastic. That sounds like a lot to know. Do you also do workshops to teach filmmakers about how to do this?
Yes, I do. But mostly people who join From the Heart and our physical sponsorship program, I work with them personally, because that's where the fun is, to get inside that film.
Oh, great. And there's another woman, a young woman who's doing a film, Leslie Neal. Tell us about that one.
Well, it's an unusual film called Unlikely Friends, and it's about people in prison being forgiven by the victims. So the perpetrator and the victim are working it out to regain a sense of balance and move forward in their lives. And I believe that forgiveness is one of the highest vibrations in the world. So this allows people to achieve what the prison system really started out to be, which was to rehabilitate people. So I'm very proud of this film.
Oh, fantastic. Now, do you how many films do you work with? Do you have a large number that you work with simultaneously?
Yes, we do. Basically, we are now partners with a crowdfunding company. And we've gotten some special benefits for those people that we sponsor, so they can mount films, and then they can also apply for grants, and then they go after large donors, and we teach them how to find them and what to say.
So what's your favorite part of this, Carole?
The filmmakers, the heart.
Yeah. And I'm also really curious, I remember once hearing that you had that your mission was to fund films that would not otherwise be made.
That's right.
And so I'm curious about some films that you have been really dear to your heart that never would have gotten made.
Well, one of my favorite films along those lines is called Stolen, The Lost Vermeer. Now, she changed the name, but when her application came through our grant, my judges all agreed that she probably wouldn't get funding anywhere else. She wanted to document the Gardner Museum, which was the largest art heist in the history of America. They took a Vermeer, which is priceless, along with some other very famous painters. And it happened on St. Patrick's Day, and the guards went to the door, and the police were standing there and said, "Your silent alarm is going off." And they said, "But we don't have any notification." They said, "Well, you wouldn't hear it." Went inside, tied him up, and took their time and took all these great priceless paintings. So she made the film, not only did she make it, but she put an ad in the paper saying, anyone who knows anything about the heist at the Gardner Museum, contact me. Well, Court TV contacted her, and they funded the whole film. But she didn't like the film she had to make for Court, which a lot of filmmakers find they have to make their film, not the one they want to. And she made enough money and saved so she could make her own film. So she made two films, and now her film is on PBS. It's at Netflix, and it's called Stolen. Great
Can't
film.
wait to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long have you lived in Ventura, Carole?
Well, I bought a house up here back in '78, 33 years. And I could see all the way down. I could see for miles down the beach.
And not so now, right?
No.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you would advise a young filmmaker who has their dream set in front of them and hasn't started yet?
Yes. Make sure that you want to put at least 2 years into this project, because the idea is great. You've got a good idea. You've got the passion. You think you have the talent. But do you really want to give up? You're going to put 15 to 20 hours a week into this film. You're going to have to ask everybody you meet for money, practically. And you have to have a commitment, 120% commitment. So if this isn't the right film for you, don't do it. Nowadays with the web, I tell people, put it on Facebook, put it on the web, and say, I'm making a film about children in China. What do you think? And see how much feedback you get and how many likes. And when you hit a good number, you're okay. But if you don't get it, you have to say no. And I see filmmakers come to me and get fiscal sponsorship, and they try all sorts of things, and it just doesn't take. That's when it's time to look for something else, Casey.
Test the waters well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, Carole, it's been really great talking to you. Is there a way that people can get in touch with you or find out more about the film grants and how to apply?
Yes, I would like that. It's from theheartproductions.com. And the application and information about the grants is all online, as well as fiscal sponsorship.
And you have a grant in New York and Chicago and LA? So
well, actually, I have an East Coast, West Coast. I have 2 out here and 1 back east.
And those are different deadlines, so?
Yes, so it rotates all through the year, April 30th, June 30th, and September 30th.
It sounds like you're really busy. How many grants do you get every year?
A lot. But not enough.
Yeah.
Because emerging filmmakers are very precious, and documentary filmmakers are truly our greatest asset.
Well, I hope to be one, and I hope that we have a lot of them in Ventura. So read The Art of Funding Your Film. It's a fantastic read with great stories about Hollywood from a long time ago, and great stories from Carole's career. You'll enjoy it. This has been Carole Dean from theheartproductions.com, and my name is Casey Wood. Thank you for joining us, and we hope that you'll come back and watch more.